It has been a painful night of violence and protest in Minneapolis. Protesters took to the streets to demand justice for George Floyd, the unarmed, handcuffed black man who pleaded with a police officer to let him breathe as the officer pinned him to the pavement with a knee to his neck.
Rest in power, George Floyd.
It's fucking RIP. It's fucking.
It's the grossest thing I've ever seen happen to a human being. Like, I watched the video with Rodney King from back in the day, and that was horrific.
I actually I had just seen that documentary.
Yeah.
And it was kind of crazy. I think they should just burn that whole fucking place down already.
Yeah. I agree. I was talking to somebody, and they were saying, I can't believe that people would riot and burn places and loot. And what they say, you can't fight a wrong with a wrong. And I'm like, people are sick and tired of this shit. Like, what do you expect people to do? We talked about this off airs. You had Colin Kaepernick taking a knee and then silent protesting and all that. And there was a lot of people involved in it.
Let him go.
Not just Colin. And now people are just totally sick of it. What do you expect people to do at this point? You've had people unemployed, stuck at home. You've given them money, a little bit of money. They're dying. Most people haven't even gotten it.
They're dying.
They're dying. And then you have cops killing unarmed black men. It just doesn't even make sense. We watched the video off air, and it's so hard to take in. It's so hard to watch. You see it all happen.
I thought he just tripped. I thought it wasn't even a resistor. It wasn't a resist or anything.
I didn't see any resist. We watched the whole thing from when he was taken from his car. He was sat down. Then they moved him to the squad car that was across the street. If you haven't seen this video, I'll put a link to it in the description, but we're not going to play it on this video. It's hard to watch, so watch it at your own discretion. And then when he got to a squad car, it looked like they opened the door. They were going to put him in the car, and he tripped going from the curb to the street. That's what it looked like to me. I think you agree. And from there on, you can just see this cop just kill the man.
I know.
He was begging for his life.
Full fucking body weight on his neck.
The guy's hands were in his pockets, the cop, with his knee just completely into this guy's neck. It just doesn't make any sense.
Like, he was damn near drooling and shit because he couldn't breathe.
Begging for his life. He said, I can't breathe.
He's calling his mom, too. I mean, come on, man. He's a grown man.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So here's something that Colin Kaepernick wrote. When civility leads to death, revolting in the only logical reaction, the cries for peace will rain down, and when they do, they will land on deaf ears, because your violence has brought this resistance. We have the right to fight back. Rest in power, George Floyd. Rest in power, that's for sure. Colin, a lot of people gave him so much shit back in the day, and I hope that his point gets revitalized and that this becomes something that's on the forefront of everyone's mind in America, especially white people. And I got to say, it's good to see these white people holding these Black Lives Matter signs and marching through the streets. I don't know. I think it's good for the community to see white
like
people just coming out to support Black Lives Matter.
Like that mayor, like he just understands.
Yeah, he's the
not,
mayor
like, turning a blind eye.
Mm-mm.
He's actually trying to get them like fucking put away, charged. He said it himself that the cop murdered him. The mayor said that. So yeah, like he even saw the evidence and stuff, and he's like, I don't want to talk about it right now, but it is gonna lead to charges.
As it should. I mean, I think that the cop that killed him, that killed George Floyd, should.
I can't remember his name.
I don't even want to know his name. I think he should just get, the worst
the death penalty
he can really get. Yeah.
I don't know if that state has a death penalty.
I don't know what they have, but And then it, trickled down a little bit to the guy who held him down from that point. There was 4 officers. They should all be charged, but I don't know with what. But I know for a fact the guy with his knee on George's neck.
Fucking Chow should have pushed him off, bro.
It got me thinking, like, at what point if we saw that on the street, at what point can we go and shove the cop off, throw hands? You don't really want to, but if you see someone dying, I don't know how I would react. I've never been in that situation. I truly don't. I would like to think that I would, make a quick judgment call and try to save this man. But at what point can we? If let's just say in a perfect world, one of these people who was witnessing all this happen shoved that cop off at the perfect time and saved him, but consequently now you're going to become a felon. You're going to get charges for what is it, like harming a police officer? I don't know what they would call it. It just doesn't make sense that
I think it's like assault on a police officer or some shit like
something like that. But it's just that system's got you so you feel like you can't even do anything to help someone else.
I mean, it was like, what was it, like a little girl or something? There was like a 17-year-old filming. Like, I mean, what could they do? I mean, they had the fucking mace out and they weren't even close.
Yeah.
The fucking the Asian officer was fucking flinching. He wasn't even like nothing. Like he wasn't even being like threatened or anything.
No.
Well, actually, no. I think I did hear him say that he'd slap them, like whoever was like yelling. But come on, man.
Of course, you're gonna say stuff like that too. I mean, you're witnessing this man die.
Yeah, and then when they like flipped him over and put him on the stretcher, it was just kind of like they were just fucking dragging a piece of meat. Like
they didn't care.
No,
they didn't care. Not at all. I mean, you watched him get to the point where he was in and out of consciousness, then become completely unconscious. You saw his body.
He's like
twitching or
like what would you say, his like shoulder drop?
Yeah, you can see when it just starts to go out. And the cop, still has his knee on his neck. Totally unconscious. Just gone.
Hands in his pocket.
Hands in his pocket. The cop had his hands in his pocket. It made no sense. And we were saying off air that this is there's no missing pieces to this. We see all the video from start to end, from him getting out of the car to being murdered. There's nothing missing.
Even when he had just gotten out of his car, he was already kind of stumbling, like he couldn't walk right. Like there was something wrong with like his legs or something.
And then the audacity for one of the cops, I don't know who it was, to say, "This is why you don't do drugs, kids," to the crowd. It's like, fuck you. That's so absurd.
You kept saying it.
It's so absurd. It's crazy. So, I can't breathe is just what we have to remember and just spread that, Make sure everyone knows about this. This is the term that everyone's using to get out there. It's what you really heard from George Floyd the loudest. It's so sad. They've got, banners and signs, and they're carrying them through the streets. And I don't know. There's nothing really. It's hard to even put words to the whole thing. It's just so disgusting. So this is even worse, in my opinion. The police, they've sent 75, 100 other police officers to watch or to guard the cop who killed George Floyd's house. So here's a little video of that and what that looks like.
Look how many fucking people are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many.
They know people would have killed that cop.
They should have just burned that whole fucking street.
I don't condone killing in any way, shape, or form. But they knew that people were going to go and find that cop and kill him.
You seen what the fucking target looked like?
The target, yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
I mean, you didn't see those fucking buildings just like all up in flames. Like where were the cops? All the cops were over there.
Yeah. It doesn't even make sense. Like, if you were going to try to protect that cop, why not get him out of there? Just get him out of there. Okay? Sure, you want to protect him. Just get him out of there.
They should have just kept him in his fucking... They should have just put him...
They should have took him to prison, to jail, right then and there. He would have been
safer there.
And then all those police could have been on the streets, working, and maybe the whole Target thing wouldn't have happened. Here's what I heard about Target. So everyone might know by now that there was a Target in Minneapolis that was being looted. I believe eventually it was set on fire. So allegedly, people were protesting outside of that Target. Coincidentally, people protest outside of Targets and shopping malls all the time. It's kind of the place to do it. There's a lot of people there. And police used things like tear gas, pepper spray on the protesters. And the protesters at that point went into the Target to try to buy things like water and milk to wash their eyes out with. And allegedly, the people at Target wouldn't sell them those items. They maybe not sell them anything, maybe just those items. I'm not sure. Let's just say it's all alleged at this point. So that's why people then started going after that Target. Smashing things, breaking things, looting it. There's videos of people running out and just taking everything, And Target, I mean, they're insured. Of course they're insured. There's nothing in that whole building that Target can't cover, as big of a company as it is. So let these people, I mean, in my mind, do that. People, I feel like, I don't know if you say they have the right to do it, but just it's a way to get their voices heard. And it needs to be heard.
Target's going to be taking a knee.
I hope so. I hope they do say something about it. I really do. Rappers have been taken to Twitter. We talk about rap, hip hop, and it's good to see people in the industry getting online and talking about this.
Isn't it kind of crazy that this happened and like Doja Cat was totally being racist too?
Yeah, there's a lot of racist things going on right now. There's the Doja Cat thing. There was that guy in WeWork who
I didn't hear about that.
It was a guy in WeWork. You know what WeWork is?
Yeah.
There's a gym in the building, and he was using the gym, and there was a bunch of...
I seen that.
I don't know. It sounded like maybe there was 2 or 3 guys.
Was it in that Minneapolis place too?
I don't know where that was. I
remember seeing it. He was like recording them and calling the cops on them because he thought they weren't like part of the building, or like they didn't have a lease or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they were all just like, yeah, we have like offices here, like whatever. Like, what are you talking about?
Fortunately, WeWork did make a statement about it, and they terminated that guy's like lease contract with them. Yeah, the white guy. Awesome. I mean, go WeWork for that. But so I mean, there's that. There's that white lady in the there was a white lady in a bird sanctuary with a dog that was off the leash.
Oh, it was a bird sanctuary? I thought it was like a bird sanctuary. I thought it was just a park, and that it had had the dog on the leash, and she had taken the dog off the leash.
And they got this
fucking
black guy says, "Put your dog on the leash." Video starts somewhere around that point
and she's
of him recording her, and she's choking her dog out. Like the dog's
dragging
crying
the dog
and stuff like that. It's just so absurd. And she's calling. She says, "I'm going to call the police and say that you're threatening me."
Yeah,
doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
doesn't even make sense. And those are the reasons. People like that are the reasons that there are, black men or women, I think, percentage-wise men, getting killed by police.
She's like, I'm going to call them and tell them you're threatening a white woman. It's like, is a black man threatening a white woman?
That's so crazy. It's so crazy. Russ got on Twitter and said what we've all been saying. Rest in peace, George Floyd. That video is disgusting. Shake my head. Killed that man on camera when you're supposed to be protecting. Shit needs to stop. Way too common of a story. It's way too common of a story. Like we just said, there's all these things happening right now.
Yeah.
That's 4 things back to back, like at least put in the media for us to see.
Yeah.
It really is disgusting.
I mean, and then you see like all these like right-wing people protesting like, oh, I want to go outside and this shit, like let me out of my house, this isn't American. But then you get someone that gets murdered like on tape and they're like, no, they're just overreacting.
It's crazy.
I don't know. What else do you want? You want to go outside and get sick, but you don't want to have justice for people getting murdered?
There's so many people just being so like contradictory and hypocritical, and
yeah.
I'm here to say I am not a white devil.
But he is growing a mullet.
But I am growing a mullet. What'd you say? That doesn't
it don't count. We'll let you slide.
Yeah. I'm not a white devil. So here's I don't know. It's just it's crazy. Here's something we want to leave you all with, and this is George Floyd's sister making a statement about everything that went on, and there's a little bit of a video here to go with it. But rest in peace, George Floyd. I hope justice is brought, for that man's name and his family. I really do hope those police officers get time one way or another.
Death sentence.
And
fucking guillotine on that guy. Fuck that guy.
I hope the city can get back on its feet, that people across the country, across the world, that this can be brought to the forefront of their minds, that we can start, take this and use it as a marker to
I'm getting tired
start
of
making
seeing
change.
this. Like, come on, man. Like, you just had the other guy that was jogging got killed, and then this happened. That wasn't even that long ago. It was like a week ago, I think.
Yeah.
Come on. Not right.
Here's George's sister.
I don't know because I was not there, but hearing the stories of what happened, he gave y'all no reason to do what y'all did to him. He gave y'all no reason. They murdered my brother and they're going to pay.